Peace and greetings, Habari. Welcome to Kai and Y007. Here I discuss astrals, things that have to do with the community, things of spirituality, our energies, and astrals, which has to do with astronomy, astrology. Appreciate you coming through, uh, subscribing, liking, commenting, participation is needed and welcome. Thank you. Greetings. Welcome to Kai and Y007. I'm glad to have you here. We started shortly. I'm doing a little warm up for the live stream. It takes a little minute, and whoever wants to join will be here. All right, pull up my my thumbnail so we can see what we have on the agenda for the news for today. Okay. There's a lot going on in these courthouses and outside with a lot of killing. So there's been an increase in courthouse killing. So we have here in the middle, I have sheriff that killed a man that was a judge, and last name Mullins. I'm going to get into that. And then also there's a woman that just got divorced from her husband. While she sat in the parking lot, he smoked her. She's dead. She's a mother of 3. I want to show that. So I posed the question, are Americans out of control? We were talking yesterday. There were some new people in the chat and an older person in the chat that's been around my channel for a while, and I appreciate him. So I was asking the question, are Americans out of control? Because it seems like there isn't much of a hold on when and where the violence is occurring. It's gotten worse. So let me put that in the chat right now too. There's people that are in other countries that see what's going on. And some of it is true. Some of it, they do know what's going on in America. But what am I trying to say? Hold on a minute. They know what's going on. But it's like the level of violence is out the roof. At the tippy top, you see lions in snow. So just over the weekend, South Africa, particularly an area of Johannesburg and a couple other areas, have received snow. Now, it doesn't normally snow in Africa. No, it does not. Most of us know that. It's a rare occurrence. So there's snow out there. There's feet worth of snow. They received, I believe, around 6 feet of snow. Yeah, so 4 people end up losing their life too, unfortunately, due to hypothermia. So I wanted to show some of that too. I talk here on things to do with astronomy, so things that are going on in space and how it's affecting our planet here as well. Global warming, all these type of things. We're going to see a lot of shifts in the weather. We are going to see a lot of shifts in the weather. So that's part of what I want to talk about here too. Then also, just below, there's a New York City doctor, Dr. J. Varma. Yes, I'm going on him. He was fired just recently. Actually, he was just fired yesterday. He had the nerve to host sex parties during COVID-19. And y'all remember, everyone around the world was told what? What was we told to do? We was told to stay in the house, right? We was told to just go ahead and sit down somewhere, right? Go have a seat. He decided with his wife, yeah, somebody married, to host sex parties right in the midst of COVID-19. Turn my ear off. I don't need that noise in the background. All right. So they were doing this and they was getting down in the basement. There was, I don't know, there's something going down in the basement below a bank. There's video footage. So I know everybody wants to talk about Diddy this and Diddy that, right? He is a culprit that's going on right now. So he was fired yesterday. He was the executive president and medical chief officer. He also is the one that made the decision that Kyrie Irving couldn't play during the home games for the Nets. While he's giving all these precautions and telling everyone what they can't do, he was out here doing a bunch of whoever strangers at their sex parties. We'll get into that. Also, you see to the right of the thumbnail, in Boeing, there's a big strike going against Boeing. You've heard me talk on Boeing. Boeing has been going down, down, down. Since I spoke on Boeing, the CEO has stepped down. They are the ones responsible for many casualties of death with people on planes. So they've been lacking in their inspection with planes. And when the plane doors were opening, windows to planes were busting open, all that crazy stuff. That had to do with the negligence of Boeing. Also, most recently, because of Boeing aircraft, That's why we have 2 astronauts stuck in space right now, is due to faulty aircraft produced by Boeing. So right now they are on strike. Some of the union workers, they want to raise and pay. So we'll get into the details of that coming up right shortly. All right, so we got sex parties to talk about. We got things going on in South Africa with the weather. We got courthouse killings and a lot of violence amongst Americans. So my question is, are Americans out of control? Then you also see the strike against Boeing, and that is going to affect, if it hasn't already, public travel, because they have a lot to do with aircraft, airspace travel. It's going to have an effect on us, anyone that's needing to seek public transportation of that sort. Because of the Boeing strikes, it's going to have a big effect on us. So yeah, the sex parties, all that stuff going on. So we're going to get right into that. Sure.
Oh, I'm not giving no booty hole up. And everybody. Oh, I'm not giving no booty hole up. And everybody, it's not no Hollywood thing. It ain't no cool thing to be talking about. This is real shit. When you talk about people that give up sacrifices, bro, the main thing they give up is they booty hole. I ain't giving no booty hole up. You know what I'm saying? And exactly what, it takes to be able to go over that threshold. But because of my mother and father and why I'm still alive and why I haven't been bent over any couches, that's up to God.
That ass, strut that ass, strut that ass, strut that ass, strut that ass. When you start walking, my friend, and you get 10, 15 miles on the highway, you won't be strutting that ass. You'll be half dead by the time you get there. So it's a chauvinistic pig attitude that Clinton's got. Strut that ass, strut that ass, strut that ass, strut that ass. And when you walk about 15 or 20 miles, you won't be strutting that ass.
Strutting that ass at these sex parties. They be strutting that ass, strutting that ass. Telling everybody else to stay in the house so you can strut that ass, strut that ass. Dudes, girls. That's what they was able to do, while everyone else was told to stay they germ having ass in the house. What the fluff? Yeah, so let's get right into this. Strutting that ass, strutting that ass. What should we do first? What y'all want to do first? Oh my gosh. Let's go. We're going to start off with Dr. J, since we kind of got right to that. Hold on one second. Okay, here we go. I'm going to go ahead and do my share screen. This was just breaking. Dr. J Varma, as I mentioned, was just fired as of yesterday due to admitting his participation, not only participation, but him and his wife hosting sex parties during COVID. He's responsible for telling people to stay in the house. He's a doctor. Not only a doctor, he is the chief executive president, all that stuff, right? So I just want to show the article on that, and it will move through each of these. Was it 1, 2, 3, 4? I think it's about 4 topics I have on here to put through. Let me put this thing up here, a banner form. Dr. J Varma. All right, let's go. You something else. Look how you looking. This is New York, y'all. New York, New York. Dr. J Varma, the city's embattled former COVID Caesar, has been fired from his job as executive vice president and chief medical officer at SIGA Technologies. Following reports, Varma attended a sex party and rave amid COVID lockdowns. Now, it wasn't just one, so stop playing. I don't like cover-ups either. I always come back with more receipts and more information. The news of Varma's termination disclosed in an SEC filing Monday. Comes just days after videos, because it's on video too. Well, this is on video, but the actual things that he's been getting into sexually and stuff with the public. There's videos of that too. So just days after videos of Varma, City Hall senior public health advisor under Mayor Bill de Blasio, who's no longer mayor, now we have Eric Adams, were posted on Thursday. On September 23rd, 2024, the board of directors of SIGA Technologies terminated Dr. J. Varma, effective immediately, other than for cause, from his position as executive vice president and chief medical, blah, 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 blah. In the videos, Varma is seen presumably on dates with a woman, describing a sex party he and his wife hosted at a hotel and a dance party held under a bank that he attended. So there's irony with the omissions of his story, because he's the same one that went ahead and was saying, telling everyone to social distance and, all this and that. So let me show you something else too. Actually, we can go to that after. Don't worry about that. All right. Varma, now listen to this though. Varma played a top role in directing the city's guidelines on how to handle COVID-19 pandemic from April 2020 through May 2021. New York City was especially hit hard, with tens of thousands killed. As top official in charge, the city's effort to eradicate COVID by pushing vaccinations, social distancing, mask wearing, all these things. He rose to national prominence, blah, 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 blah. Let's skip all that. But this is the part right here, y'all. He rose to national prominence when he instituted vaccine mandates. He's one of the top main people that said, no, it's mandatory that you become vaccinated. Athletes, work, everyone. He wanted everyone vaccinated, right? Everyone. So with that, he had involvement in this, with Kyrie Irving not being able to play. If you remember that, Kyrie Irving stood on his square and he said, I'm not getting vaccinated. He doesn't want to be vaccinated. I'm one of the people too that's anti-vax. So to Kyrie Irving being unable to play home games for the Net, and he, Dr. Varma, is partly responsible for around 1,500 New York City employees that lost their jobs because they refused to get the vaccine. Quote, the only way I could do this job for the city is if I could blow off steam every now and then, he told off-camera woman at one point in the video. So Representative Varma's clarified that he intended two sex parties in August 2020 and August 2020 and November 2020, and noted it wasn't against official guidance at the time. You're a liar. Who knows how many that he actually really had. So, yeah. So this man right here. So how would you feel if you were an employee? You lost your job because of this man enforcing certain things through the guidelines, right? But yet he's out here being totally reckless. So we have that. It's another article. So the one I just had was from New York Daily through Yahoo. This one is NewYorkTimes.com. Former NYC COVID Caesar partied while preaching social distancing. In a hidden camera video posted by conservative podcaster Dr. J.K. Varma boasts about flouting the public health guidelines he insisted others follow. So that is something, right? That's just something else right there. Yeah, so there that goes. Also, we got Boeing. Like I mentioned, Boeing has been in a horrible situation that's affecting people in their lives as well. But just sticking on him for a moment, social distancing was something new. We had a Black Plague that took place here. It was so many years ago, and that's when a lot of people were sick. And that was the closest thing that I could find while I researched during COVID. We're not used to this. Everyone had to follow the rules, but he didn't, and he's the main one. So not only should he get a lot of backlash, yes, he should be fired. So let's see. I'll check to see if I have any answers on the poll. Are Americans out of control? Okay. No, I'm not trying to end it. Where is it? How come I can't see it? Whew. Kind of interesting. Oh. No, why can't I see it? Am I broke? All right. Okay, so for some reason I'm not able to read that right now. Okay. I'm gonna go about this in another way. How's everyone doing? All right, one vote so far. Just started maybe less than 10 minutes ago. Are Americans out of control? The one vote that I did receive says no. So we're at 100% for no. Americans are not out of control. All right, that surprises me a bit. Let me go over to, let's see, let me go back over to, let's remove the banner. Here. Anyone new? I'm Kai. This is my channel, Kai NY007. Consider subscribing, hitting the like button. If you're interested in anything you see in here, I appreciate the effort put into gathering and what I do. You only get to see the end result, but I do a lot in the background. Also, participation is always welcome and wanted here. Thank you. Switching gears. So for Boeing has been under a lot of scrutiny lately. Like I said, the CEO stepped down, rightfully so, because there's been way too many cover-ups. They've been covering up a lot of deaths with Americans. Americans have suffered injuries and deaths while being aboard aircraft that is supposed to be inspected by Boeing. They've dropped the ball so many times, and then they always cover up their flaws. They've always covered up why the bolts are loose, why the windows are flying open while you're in flight, why the freaking door is busted open so a human being can go flying out of it. They've been covering this up for years. The time has finally come that they've been exposed. Also, we have 2 astronauts right now as I speak. Today is September 24th, 2024, Tuesday. They're stuck out in space. Why? Because of faulty equipment by Boeing's aircraft. That's why. They had a helium leak on their way to space, among many other malfunctions that happened with the aircraft they were in. So now currently, as you see in the screen, there are people that work for Boeing and they're fed up. So these are union workers that are demanding raises and they're on strike. Now, being that they're on strike, this affects a lot of us. Why? Because it's going to affect our travels. Boeing has been depended upon by Americans for many years because they were one of the first founders of a lot of aircraft and spacecraft. That doesn't mean we always have to depend on them. They've been losing when it comes to quality. There's nothing more important than the quality of life. Boeing has been failing for years. So now we have their union workers that are fed up with the pay and probably other things too. Also, if you remember, I spoke on this too. Boeing had whistleblowers, people that work for Boeing currently, were, and they told about things that were going on, things that were overlooked instead of being properly inspected and things like that. They ended up being killed. I'm alleging they were killed. According to the news, they happened to commit suicide. I doubt it. They blew the whistle and they were blown away. 2 of the workers were killed. One was a current worker, one had retired, was no longer working there or left, quit, but they were no longer working there. So I'd like to know some of your thoughts on that too. This affects all of us. Any one of us could have our butt sitting in a plane and it's not properly inspected. Good luck. So I'm going to get into the more of this article. So once again in New York, so this is CNN. Boeing announced Monday that it raised its offer to the International Association of Machinists, IAM, union as the strike against the company enters its 11th day. So it's 11 days it's already been in strikes. The new offer would give members 30% raise over the 4-year life of the contract, including an immediate 12% raise up from the 25% in overall raises, and an immediate 11% raise that membership voted almost unanimously against on September 12th, just before walking off the job at Boeing plants on the West Coast. So they were leaving. They were like, we're out of here then. Now they're like, oh, no, we'll raise our offer. So that's what's going on with Boeing right now. This affects everyone listening, or whether you catch the replay or you're here live right now, which is better for you. Be careful. You also have a right to know the company of the plane you're boarding. You have a right to say, I don't want to be on that plane. I would like another plane. You have a right to know these things as passengers. So I do mention that too. All right. So the new offer also doubled a signing bonus to $6,000. That's decent. And increased the money that Boeing would contribute to the 401k plans of union workers to match contributions they make themselves. But it did not restore the traditional pension plan that union members lost 10 years ago in a previous labor agreement. So they're going to want to touch on that too. So I could go on and on, but I won't. We'll just brief some of this up. The strike was brought production of commercial jets. Okay, so they do jets, aircraft to go to space, and airplanes. Despite its many problems, including the loss of more than $33 billion over the last years, Boeing is still a major force in the U.S. manufacturing and vital to America's air transportation system. But again, we do have other aircraft companies that are on the rise. They want to get in this thing. They see Boeing is failing, and they have companies that are on the rise. They're slowly rising, but they're slowly on the rise, and they're needed. We can't just keep depending on companies, whether they're grandfathered or not. If they're not producing the quality and helping secure lives, we can't use them. So you do away with them. That's what you do. So that is the information on the strike of Boeing's workers. They are on strike. All right, so we're about 50-50 with the poll. I just looked and saw we have some more votes in. So 40% of y'all say yes, Americans are out of control, and 50% of y'all are saying no, Americans are not out of control. So that's interesting. Let me see here too. I'll be on here somewhere. I don't know how long. Somewhere between a half hour, 2 hours. Not going to be that long of a live stream either. Not going to be doing too much court stuff either. It is interesting, but not. But there's so much lies going on that it's kind of, to me, it's a waste of time. I have other stuff to do with my time than watch people that snitched, and now they're saying they didn't snitch, and now they got an attitude. Now they thugged out. They want us to know they hood and they street, but they not when it got down to it. Damn it, I'm tired of all y'all and your names. Making me feel like a Karen up in here, just having to pronounce your names right and in and out and all these little D's. But all y'all big as hell, but they calling y'all little D. Like, what in the world is going on? Y'all peeping that too? Big as hell, fat like Randy, fat ass. Yeah, fat like you, troll. But anywho, got the nerve to call themselves little something. So maybe that was a childhood name, but I'm just tired of it. It's confusing and everybody lying. It's like you're not missing nothing. So the recap of yesterday, today, would just be the lies back and forth. Nobody got time for that. So anyone new, again, I'm Kai. This is Kai my 007. And appreciate you coming through. Whether you're new or not, hope to see you back. All right. So let me back into everything here too. Okay, so I'll leave that banner up. Some of this stuff that I already went over. And then we'll go to Africa. We can close out with Africa last. That would be decent too. So wanted to say real quick too, also something kind of humorous news. Trump, he calls the people that works for him geniuses. That she shouldn't say that because they're actually pretty dumb. Trump ran an ad recently, just the other day. He was speaking to Georgia, or at least he thought he was. So, yikes. Trump campaign runs ad in Georgia with embarrassing, silly mix-up. So instead of showing a picture of the state of Georgia in America, he showed a picture of Georgia, the country, and saying, hey, come on out and vote. I need you to double check your registration, make sure you're in there, and this and that. So that was pretty funny. Yeah, so let's get this idiot out of here. He has nothing better to do. Yeah, I do miss who I miss. I do miss my loved ones. There's people that show me love on here, regardless to our ups and downs. Shout out to RBR. That's all I'm going to do is shout him out more because he's part of the reason I do what I do. People that come against me are part of the reason I do what I do. And people that are in favor of me are what drives and motivates me. Because I learned something from experiences, all experiences, and we're not perfect. So I've gotten a lot of support from Real Brother of RBR Network and RBR Network for Women. He's the one, and I have it recorded, where he told me that I should do longer live streams. So regardless to whether he came over here or not, before he died, he did come over here, and I have proof of that. So he'll always be in our hearts. That's right. He's like, I'm a borderline cheat. What you talking about? Really? Yeah. He will always be in our hearts. And there's people that don't know how to deal with that. So there's a person that, comes around sometimes because he don't have nothing better to do. He need to go try Ozempic. Because his health he would look better, his body and his brain. But also on that channel, there was a lot of people that are over there still and that were attracted to coming over there because they do have mental illness. Now, mental illness can cause you to like someone that raises their voice or up and down. They tend to be attracted to things that aren't maybe as normal sometimes, where other people would be offended and don't like it, don't understand it. There's people that some of us, we come from backgrounds where maybe there was dysfunction. So we relate that way. But he wasn't a dysfunctional person. He had his own way of teachings, and he was a great person. And he's something that you will never, ever be, Randy, and you're half his age. You will never be anything compared to what he is and what he was and what he's done for all of us. So having said that, and move right along. So also what we have is, what? Okay. So, yeah, so that's the latest with Boeing. Like I just said, I wonder if on my page, here we go. So up next, and I have one more topic to go over, and I'll be peeking in the chat back and forth too. So this is the judge here. You see him on my thumbnail too, which I'll pull up right now. So the question I put in the chat is, are Americans out of control? So I got some more votes. Most of y'all saying yes. 60% of y'all are saying yes, Americans are out of control. 33% are saying no. I wonder if you got the ones that are out of control saying no. Nah, we're probably all a little bit out of control, whether we admit it or realize it or not. So you see there on my screen on the thumbnail, sheriff kills judge. Tragedy. So this is NBC News. Now, I mentioned this a couple of days ago. So I mentioned it maybe just the following day after it occurred and they talked about it. But here's the information. I want to go over some. Tragedy. Kentucky sheriff charged in fatal courthouse shooting of judge stuns community. Police said preliminary information indicates that Letcher County Sheriff Shawn M. Stines fatally shot Judge Kevin Mullins following an argument inside the courthouse. Now, they want to act like they don't really know what's going on, y'all. But see, they already done slipped up and already heard what they said. Now, I maybe I'll still pull up the footage on it, but it'll be somewhere. So this is all over a sexual assault that occurred in his chambers. So there was a deputy sheriff working. He pulled a female inmate into the courthouse chambers and sexually assaulted her. This wasn't one time. This was multiple occasions. How did he do it? I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. Your guess is as good as mine. This judge was killed because he had a part in the case. Then he said he would like to have himself removed because of a conflict of interest, because Judge Mullins has a relationship with some of the officers involved and such. You know, he's a judge. This is the judicial branch. Some of them have relationships with police, people in authority. So that's what was going on with this. Hey, this is KY007. Consider subscribing, hitting the like, and participate. This is an open, free chat room. It's just, just don't tolerate too much disrespect. But yes, bring your open minds. You can bring them on in. So that's the latest on that. Now the news is like, yeah, they still don't know why this occurred, but we just know it's a tragedy. And somebody was like, yeah, everybody got along. We don't know what happened, Guess there was an argument, and something happened though, but I don't know. It's like, yeah, right. We already know. They done already slipped up and told us. I saw some of the court documents. What are you talking about? It got messy. Somebody was sleazy, sexually assaulting an inmate in the chambers. And then this judge ends up getting killed behind it. Now I'm going to let the video play a bit, and then I'll read some of the article.
I guess bad things can happen to good.
The common sight outside the courthouse in Letcher County, Kentucky. Crime scene tape following a stunning tragedy. Longtime Judge Kevin Mullins found Thursday shot and killed inside his own chambers, with local Sheriff Mickey Stines charged with the murder. State police say gunshots followed an argument inside the courthouse. Police say the sheriff who turned himself in is now facing 1 count of first-degree murder. Investigators unable to offer an explanation or motive.
That's questions that we're still trying to get answers to, what led up to the actual shooting itself and the moments prior to.
Judge Mullins was appointed in 2009 after serving almost a decade as a prosecutor, and appeared passionate about helping those struggling with drug addiction.
And they're just good people, but I guess bad things can happen to good people.
With the motive unclear, Sheriff Stines was cited as a defendant in a 2022 lawsuit about a deputy accused of using the judge's chambers while demanding sexual favors from an inmate. Stines is accused of not properly training that deputy, who was later fired. According to court documents, Stines was scheduled to testify in a deposition on Monday. The murder comes on the heels of a string of shocking violence against judges.
In accordance with the laws of the state of
This dramatic video shows the moment earlier this year that a defendant leaped over a bench to attack a judge in Las Vegas. On Thursday in Alaska, a man was indicted for allegedly sending more than 460 text messages threatening to harm 6 Supreme Court justices. And in New Jersey, a sweeping law enacted to protect the personal information of public officials after the son of a federal judge was killed by a gunman at their family home. Back in Kentucky, following the murder there, Governor Andy Beshear writing in a statement, "There is far too much violence in this world, and I pray there is a path to a better tomorrow."
Well, it sounds like he sort of surrendered to authorities, but I guess officials are still trying to figure out the motive. So what's next for investigators?
Sure. So as far as what's next, Hodo, we know that there are witnesses in the building, according to state police, but not within the judge's chambers. You have to figure they are going to be interviewed. And then according to state police, there's also video surveillance in the building. They believe, they're not exactly sure on what locations. That could be material as well. I will say that NBC News has tried to contact the attorney for Sheriff Stines. So far, we have not found one assigned to this case as of yet.
Okay. All right, Sam Brock. Sam, thank you.
Thanks, Sam.
Okay, it is time to help our viewers navigate some tricky situations.
Oh, my bad. I thought y'all could hear me. All right. Thanks. What is it? NBC News. All right. So they want to act like they don't know what happened, but they already spilled the beans. So we know what it has to do. It has to do with that sexual assault. But why it was taken out on the judge, I don't know. So he was shot 6 times. So imagine a sheriff in the courthouse airing out the judge, shooting him up. Boom, 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 boom. And then he turns himself in. Yeah, I would think so. In the courthouse at that. So this is crazy and it's very messy. He was buried and had his funeral either last Saturday or Sunday. So he had a funeral very quickly. I mean, just a matter of maybe 4 days after he passed away. So that was fast. Thanks for voting, y'all. Appreciate it. All right, so we almost have a dozen votes in so far. My question is, are Americans out of control? And to be more specific, like Yessie asked, yes, I mean, majority of Americans. Or do you feel like it's just a small amount and it's exaggerated? Or has it always been this way? I think we're getting more out of control. So my answer would be yes. Most of y'all said yes, 82%. 18% said no. So it looks like one person probably said no, or maybe two at the most. Oh yeah, I just saw something you said. The UK top health official was also caught cheating on his wife during the lockdowns he imposed. Wow. Are you talking about, I know you're talking about, I forgot his name, but his hair is always sticking up all over the place and he has like blonde hair. I'm gonna excuse me. And he actually stepped down. What was his name? Because yeah, he was caught partying during lockdowns. Come on, my thing's slow. Let's go. Yep. Boris Johnson. Girl. What kind of girl was he fooling around with? Well, I'm not sure if that's the one you're referring to. Well, yeah, it's gotta be. Because he was over there. Yeah. I'm not sure that I was aware that he was cheating, but I know that he was partying. Oh, no, not Boris. Oh, all right. But he was caught out there too. If you remember, he was caught. He was at parties and they were like, you know that this stuff is going on. Okay, so not him. All right. That's interesting still though. That is interesting. Wow. Let's put the music on in the background. That's interesting. So people weren't obeying the rules that they were implementing. It doesn't make any sense. And I just think it's funny because it comes on the heels of the ashy heels of the Diddy case, where they're like, yeah, he's this New York City mogul and he had these sex parties and blah, blah, blah. This is even worse too. This is during the pandemic. All they did was probably help spread it. So yeah, he had the right to be fired. Now, why he was just now fired, that's an interesting question. I'm curious to know if him and Diddy ever mingled too. Maybe that's a stretch, but I do wonder. So we'll see. Because anything that's meant to come out, it's been coming out. So we'll see. We'll be bearing witness to it. All right. All right. Moving along from that topic was the Prime Minister. Oh, wait a minute. I feel like I remember because it was on video. I feel like it's starting to become familiar. Wow. Minister's affair caught on camera prompts questions about surveillance among Britain's political elite. June 2021. Matt Hancock pictured outside BBC before appearing on the Andrew Marshall. He was forced to resign after images of him kissing a female advisor. After images of him kissing a female advisor were published in the newspaper. I do remember this. Thanks for bringing this up. According to CNN of London, in London. It isn't the fact that the woman in question wasn't Hancock's wife, nor that the pictures meant Hancock was breaking his own government's COVID rules that is most freaking out West colleagues. It's that the images came from a security camera in Hancock's office, and that he seems to have had no idea it was filming him. Okay, well, I think it's more important that he was caught cheating during COVID, but I get it too. There's a camera, so he wasn't even aware that there was a camera in there, or because people like recording stuff, he just didn't mean for it to be recording at that time, or someone might have got a hold to the footage. I'm not sure if they found that out or not, if he was aware. Yeah, that's crazy. But you know what, too, and I ain't doing this to beat up on the guys, but if men would like kind of keep their eggplant more to themselves or to the woman that you vowed to be with, the world could be a better place. It just shows the extent that people are willing to go through just to cheat, the extent you're willing to jeopardize not only your own health, but your household's health. So a lot of this is disgusting. It's disgusting. I became a bit of a germaphobe since all of this been going on. So I just couldn't imagine swapping spit with anybody, to be honest. It's just a lot of, oh. I don't want people brushing up against me. In New York, it's always be elbow to elbow. It's like, ooh. Sometimes in New York, it's like 1,000 Randys walking around, big as hell and just being in the way. I digress. Also, real quick, too, this is about the bulk of it. I'm not going to get into any more of the court stuff, at least not right now. I'm just not dealing with the nonsense. If y'all want to waste your time, people lying and there's nothing interesting about it because you're not getting any information, y'all could go right ahead. But in the newest news, if you caught my live stream or if you want to catch it, I showed some of the early highlights of the trial, which has to do with the murder of rapper Young Dolph. Young Dolph shooting suspect testifies, admits to shooting the rapper and cleaning up the vehicle. So that was just from yesterday, Monday, September 23rd. What I will do is show some of this right here. That's what they're saying.
And I'm grateful that the world.
He was very beloved too. They actually were talking about how he was giving out turkeys, and he did a lot of good things in the community. I did play his music yesterday. I played his song and the music. It was called 100 Shots, but that has to do with shootings, and the other one was about drugs. So we still tend to have a lot of the similar categorized music that comes from rappers, and I really enjoy rap music. But I do have to say, we have to broaden our subjects that we speak on, because too much of that too can kind of give your fate, can kind of, you don't want to keep falling into that too much either. But overall, a lot of people had nothing but good things to say about him. Now, his pre-record label had to do with someone named Big Juke. Big Juke is the brother of rapper Yo Gotti. So they're saying that Big Juke had said that he'll pay $100,000 to have Young Dolph killed. Then they said once he was killed, one of the main murderers got $20,000 out the whole deal. So they were expecting 40, one got 20. So it got messy too with even the payout of this assassination that they were supposed to get. And I wondered to myself, what motivated them to kill this man? He seemed beloved, and what was the issue? The issue was the money. Then during the court case, they mentioned that Smith, I believe it was Smith, one of the suspects had a drug problem. He was into ecstasy and things like that, and that's really what motivated him to get the money. He had a deceased child that was only 9 years old that died, so they wanted to paint the picture that one of the suspects was really going through a lot of extreme hardships in his life, and he turned to violence for money during that time. So I'm going to go ahead and let this video play, and then I'll read some of the article.
I'm grateful to have experienced him, and I'm grateful that the world can see him for who he truly is, not the persona that most people saw him as for being, but for who he truly is.
This car was fly too. I love me some camo. Camouflage is the dish. This car was fly too. I love me some. So the rest is silent. So I'm gonna talk over it while oh, you can't see it if I'm reading from the article. So like I said, I believe it was November 2021, the killing of Young Dolph. Cornelius Smith is one of the ones charged. He was the one we saw yesterday. They even had him signing papers while he was in court. You don't see that, but okay. Showing their large crowd of fans after the shooting. So Smith said that he and Justin Johnson, the trial started yesterday, were set to receive $40,000 each, with Hernandez Garvin, the man prosecutors say was the mastermind behind the killing, receiving $20,000. Shelby County Deputy District, let me slow down, Attorney Paul Hagerman said, had Smith talk in detail about his problems with drugs. At the time, Smith was taking Oxycontin and ecstasy. I'll let this play. This is a good breakdown too. It breaks down when stuff happened, what happened. I didn't see his funeral. He was born as, I believe, Adolph Thornton Jr., which they should have put it in here for me too. All right, so Smith, he's one of the main suspects. He was a suspect that was in court yesterday, which I showed and gave some commentary on. Smith said, I already read that part. Smith said the year had been rough for him. His 9-year-old child had died months before. Sorry to hear that. So, but then to go and take another life, it's like, wow. Smith was made, but you don't know what he was going through mentally. He was on drugs or, I don't know. But Smith was made aware of multiple hits out on artists affiliated with Young Dolph's pre-record label after speaking with Galvin and Big Jook, Yo Gotti's brother. And Yo Gotti's brother, Big Jook, he was shot and killed last January. So Smith said he and Johnson traveled together, with Johnson picking him up. Smith said the initial plan was to shoot Thornton. Now, Thornton is rapper Young Dolph that passed away. His plan was to shoot Thornton at a turkey drive, but spotted the camouflage wrapped Corvette Thornton was known to drive. Now, see, this is how demonic some of these people are, how monstrously driven they are, because to sit there and want to kill this man right while he's giving out free turkeys at a turkey drive. It's like, that's absurd. Totally absurd. So these are some pictures of him in the community engaging with people. He was at a high school in Memphis. So that's where he's from, born and raised. Memphis, Tennessee, in America. Look at that big $25,000 check. So I see why he was really loved by many. That's awesome. So they were just giving some background and things like that on the suspects. So Smith said that he was the first one to get out of the car. Is in quote, couldn't tell you how many times I shot Thornton, in a quote. Smith said he was shot by Marcus Thornton, who's the brother of Young Dolph, who was present at the cookie shop as well, and needed to have a wound kit to clean his injuries. And Smith said he was shot in the arm and leg, with Johnson being grazed by a bullet on his back. Quick breakdown. Big Juke was he put $100,000 to kill Young Dolph. I went over that. Young Dolph was shot multiple times in the neck, head, torso in the homicide, per the autopsy. And they cleaned the vehicle up too, because they was bleeding in, so that's that. I just wanted to at least touch on that right there with that case. Rest in peace to him. Here we have snow in South Africa, which is unprecedented. Let me read some of this article. There's the kids playing in snow. This was crazy. Sadly, some people died too. So they said 2 deaths, but it really, the death toll went up to 4 as of today. Late season snowstorm in South Africa caused 2 deaths from hypothermia. Unseasonably late snowstorms battered coastal areas of South Africa over the weekend, killing 2 people and forcing the closure of some of the country's major highways. The deaths were attributed to hypothermia after the two people were stuck in vehicles stranded by heavy snowfall on the N3 highway, which is the major route to the coastal city of Durban. One of the victims was a 39-year-old woman stuck in a minibus. The province of KwaZulu, Natal, and Free State were hit the hardest with the worst of the storms. Officials warned that some of that areas could experience flooding as the snow starts to melt. Oh boy. The crops of many farmers were buried under snow for 2 days. Wow. So that's going to have a big effect possibly on the agriculture there, particularly in South Africa. Did y'all know of this? Can you believe it? It's happened before on record, but it's extremely rare. Surprised they had those snow hats. All right, why can't I get this off my screen? All right, folks. Okay, appreciate y'all participation and everything. Oh, what you laughing at? I must have said something earlier. So what was I showing? Okay, so that was the bulk of what I was showing there. Yeah, so America, people feel we out of control. Out of control. There's a lot going on. I'm just pretty appalled, jealous of these sex parties. No, I'm exaggerating, but I'm just surprised that so many people of prominence are just doing all these things. Now, you could do what you want to do between consensual adults, but to be the head person of this whole thing with, hey, you got to do this, you got to stay in the house, you need to do this, you need to do that. It's like, what? And then you're going to sit here and just be around strangers, because it's not like they knew who would be there. I think a lot of these elites, they get newbies too. They don't even want to sleep with their wife anymore. They want something new. So they be wanting new pass-bys too, pass-arounds. Whether they real street workers or whatever they be having going. I think it's a combination. So, wow. Sheesh. And the wife was involved too. So like I said, with Dr. Varma, his wife was down with all of this too. Him and his wife hosted these parties. So I just wanted to say that again in closing. There's a thumbnail again. So it's not just Diddy. Diddy didn't do it. But I will be looking into any connections with Diddy, even though I'm in defense of Diddy. Y'all can feel how y'all want to feel. Everybody can't be on the same accord. Not when we have our own way of thinking, and I do my research and I'm just going by what I think. So yeah, this is something else.
I'm not giving no booty hole up. And everybody, it's not no Hollywood thing. It ain't no cool thing to be talking about. This is real shit. When you talk about people that give up sacrifices, bro, the main thing they give up is they booty hole. I ain't giving no booty hole up. You know what I'm saying? And exactly what it takes to be able.
Now I'm saying,
that threshold.
Yeah, I know Orlando Brown saying.
But because of my mother and father, and why I'm still alive, and why I haven't been bent over any couches, that's up to God. Diddy had cameras in place and shit like that.
Diddy is being faced with a lot of allegations.
So?
A lot.
I know.
That ass, foot that ass, foot that ass, foot that ass, foot that ass. When you start walking, my friend, and you get 10, 15 miles on the highway, you won't be strutting that ass. You'll be half dead by the time you get there. So it's a chauvinistic pig attitude that Clinton's got. Strut that ass, strut that ass, strut that ass, strut that ass. And when you walk about 15 or 20 miles, you won't be strutting that ass.
Faced with a lot of allegations.
So, cameras in place and shit like that. That's up to God. Diddy had cameras in place and shit like that.
Diddy is being faced with a lot of allegations.
So?
A lot of things have been said. And
they did it on his bed.
What
it's a 50-foot bed.
Because you've spoken about it before.
It's a 50-foot bed under the moonlight in his backyard. My booty hole. I'm not giving no booty hole up. And everybody, it's not no Hollywood thing. It ain't no cool thing to be talking about. This is real shit. When you talk about people that give up sacrifices, bro, the main thing they give up is they booty hole. I ain't giving no booty hole up. You know what I'm saying? And
All right, thanks, Orlando Brown. You ain't giving up no booty hole. All right, we get it. So yeah, that's that. I just thought that those were some of the main things that stood out in most news recently. You know, other than people kind of bringing up Janet Jackson because she didn't apologize for saying Kamala Harris, possible president to be, is not black. So there's that going on. I personally don't give a crap at this point. If y'all do, say so in the chat. Janet Jackson is that woman right there. So I've always had love for her and always will. She's probably not with the nonsense either. So neither am I. I mean, it is what it is. You get mad, you can't come for her. She got a mouth, she could talk what she want. I just don't believe in spreading misinformation. So she was just mistakenly, they said, thinking that Kamala Harris's father is white. He's not. He's black. Her mother is Indian. So there's that. Honestly, I'm just like so over it. I'm tired. I kind of I feel all right, but I've had better days. But I'm good. I'm not really gonna be worrying about too much of what somebody else got going on. I'm just not doing it. So, all right, a couple more votes going on here. Let's see. Question: are Americans out of control? Okay, so most are saying yes. 85% are saying yes, Americans are out of control. And 15% are saying no. No, Americans are not out of control. All right, so that's interesting, y'all. Anyone new or returning, I appreciate you and hope to see you back. I'm Kai. My channel is Kai NY007. What else I had? I usually do my little thing on here too, so people can kind of see that. Why do I keep being muted? My bad. So yeah, here I talk about the community. I talk about astros, which is a combination of some astrology and astronomy, excuse me, things to do with sex, sexuality, and also spirituality, our energy, things like and things mostly do with the community, mainly melanated people. Sometimes in between, I'll talk a little this and that. So it's a wide range of variety, but I do have my main focuses, okay, on what I feel is important, most important to all of us, or at least it should be. All right. So I'll be doing some more things with astronomy. And as you see, I had a full moon. I've had this intro for a couple of years now, and it really sums up what I not only enjoy speaking on. Some things I may not have the most enjoyment with, but it's necessary. So I'm willing to give some of that up. Speaking of sacrifice, like Orlando Brown said, I do sacrifice things in my life so that I can come on here and put forth things and information and entertainment. So it could be some infotainment for us all to share. And I encourage engagement. So I appreciate those that do participate. I appreciate y'all a lot. You're not disrespectful. Some people are, and it will be handled accordingly because there is an energy out there too that will affect their health and it'll affect them in other ways. I don't wish bad things on people. You're wishing things on yourself when you come against people like me. If you oppose anything I say, put it in the chat because sometimes it's fun to have a little back and forth of ideas or debates. That's fine. And I don't mind disrespect sometimes. I mean, it is what it is. Y'all can't hurt me. Y'all have no idea what I've been through and what I'm willing to go through for me and mine. So, hey. So it's an open chat room. Come in and just have your free thinking. I'm looking to engage more with open minds. I would like to engage with people that are more like me and people that aren't as well. So, it is what it is. It's all part of rules of engagement, right? So that's that. I have previous content too to check out. I have video shorts, I have short videos, and the live streams, which I've increased in recent days. And there's been an increase in volume. I've had a lot of people coming through, more people watching, more people subscribing, things like that. So, I am looking to other areas of my channel to improve. But that's going to be up to y'all, the public. So that's people that already are here, and then people to come, because I know I'll be getting more people coming in too. And I definitely look forward to that as well. And you are all welcome. So again, that concludes today for our Americans Out of Control. It snowed in Africa, another continent, but also Dr. Varma. We're not done with him. Because I think more is probably going to come out, and we're going to see it, and I'm going to be one of the first ones to discuss it. I will drag his monkey ass up and down New York City. Okay? You like sex parties, so you could be naked or clothed getting dragged. And rest in peace to Judge Mullins. His life was taken by one of his own sheriffs, the sheriff. And that case is still fresh, so we're going to hear more, because they're going to have to be open and honest more with what really is going on. We know it had to do with a sex assault case charge. And they're saying that the sheriff didn't properly train his deputy and all this other stuff. It's like, what that have to do with whether you trained or not? He shouldn't have been sexually harassing and raping people in a courthouse. Like, what's going on here? And then also Boeing is on his head right now, man. Like, the CEO already stepped down, but there's still a lot of things that need improvement. So there that goes. All right. This is good timing, because now there's something going on. It sounds a little noisy out there. All right. So anyway, again, I appreciate you all for coming through, and I appreciate the votes that did come on in here. Most of y'all said, yes, Americans are out of control. Few of y'all said no. 15% said no. 85% said yes. So I appreciate your participation as always. I think we out of control. There's a lot of stuff going on, the way we handle domestic disputes and all kind of stuff. But anyway, that'll be my time, y'all. I appreciate y'all live and direct. And some of this news is coming right out of NYC to New York City. So I appreciate y'all as always. This is Kai Y007. Hope to see you back. Y'all take care and have a great day. Peace.
Strut that ass, strut that ass, strut that ass, strut that ass. When you start walking, my friend, and you get 10, 15 miles on the highway, you won't be strutting that ass. You'll be half dead by the time you get there.
Booty hole up. And everybody, it's not no Hollywood thing. It ain't no cool thing to be talking about. This is real shit. When you talk about people that give up sacrifices, bro, the main thing they give up is they booty hole.
Showing this big attitude that Clinton's got, strut that ass, strut that ass, strut that ass, strut that ass. And when you walk about 15 or 20 miles, you won't be strutting that ass.
Appreciate y'all participating too. Sometimes I'm not really going to read the chat. I'll probably be into other things, but I do try to engage. I missed a comment too. Yes, we are out of control in regards to local government, state government, and in federal government overreach. Oh, all right. That's a good point. I was thinking like violence out of control, but I'll be a little more specific to my questions sometimes. But yeah, I appreciate that too. Yeah, that's an interesting perspective. Yeah, we're out of control, man. All right, y'all. Y'all take care. Be careful whether you're in NYC or not. With me or wherever I'm at. Y'all take care. Peace.
Damn, what was that? Is that a fly? Damn. So that's a moth. God damn it. Fuck out of here. Really, yeah. What is it doing here? All right, there we go. All right, so there it is.